Hello, everyone. Welcome. We'll give it another minute or so for folks who are still trying to log on. And so in the meantime, please feel free to keep your mic on mute, and then we'll start shortly. Welcome to everyone who is joining. We'll give it another minute before we begin. All right, it looks like a decent amount of folks are here, so we'll go ahead and begin. Hi, and welcome everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and enjoying the rainy weather from wherever you are. And if you're on spring break, I hope you're also enjoying your spring break. And so thank you for taking your time to join us today to learn about the intersession program at San Jose State, also known as the summer session and winter session. My name is Kua Vang. I am a program manager at San Jose State for the College of Professional and Global Education, also known as CPGE. And I'm joined here today with my colleague, Sarah Sakran, who will be helping with chat. And so a few quick housekeeping rules. This session is being recorded. Everyone who has registered for the event will receive a copy of the recording after today. And please make sure your mic is on mute to ensure that there's no disruption during the presentation. And so a quick overview of today's presentation. I'll start with an overview of the program, and then we'll go into the Q&A to answer any questions that you have. Feel free to ask your questions in the chat throughout the presentation. And so before we begin, I'm going to do a quick poll just to see what kind of students are here with us today. And so I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll. You should see a pop-up come up onto your screen. Please go ahead and take a couple seconds to answer the two questions. All right, looks like majority of everyone has answered, so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. All right, so it looks like we have a lot of undergraduate students here today from SJSU, a few Open University or non-SJSU students, and looks like majority of folks have already enrolled in summer session before in the past. And so that's great to see. And then a couple who where this will be oh, I apologize. It looks like majority of everyone here is the first time enrolling in summer session, and then a couple who have already participated before in the past. And so that's really great to see. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the poll, and then we'll go ahead and dive right into our presentation today. So we'll go ahead and start with defining what intersession is and what the program is about. And so intersession is a condensed semesters that fall in between the fall semester and the spring semester. And the best way to think about intersession is that it's an optional mini semester where you can earn credit for classes that you take. And the types of courses that we offer are really a mixed bag of courses. We have general education requirements, major requirements, electives, upper divs, lower divs, etc. An intersession is offered twice a year. The first intersession that we offer is our winter session, which starts in January. And then our summer session, which spans the entire summer, which is from June to August. And so our upcoming intersession is our summer session. And so summer session, we do offer 2 sessions. So there's summer session 1 and summer session 2. And the best way to think about summer sessions is the 2 different sessions is that it really depends on the start date. Classes that start on June 1 will fall into the session 1 category, and then classes that have a July start date is considered our session 2. Now, there are 3 different types of 3 different session length or class lengths. There are 5-week sessions that can run from June to July, and then another 5-week session that runs from July to August. And then there are some classes that fall in the 10-week session, which is the entire summer, and that's from June to August. And so during our summer session, you can take up to 12 units, and campus fees during summer session is prorated depending on the session that you take. So for example, if you take a 5-week session from June to July, your campus fees will be prorated just for session 1. And so if, let's say, you take a 10-week session, which is the June to August, that would also be prorated for just session 1. Now, if you take a 5-week session from June to July, and then you take another 5-week session during session 2, which again is from July to August, your campus fees will be prorated to reflect the 2 sessions. And so during summer session, there is a Pell Grant for SJSU students that SJSU students can apply for. There are certain requirements that you have to meet to receive the Pell Grant, and we do have more information about that on our website and also on the financial aid website as well. And so I recommend you talk to your advisor as soon as possible if you know that you will be interested in taking a summer session course. During the summer, we do offer over 500 classes, and registration does begin in a couple weeks on April 12 for our SJSU students. And then for our non-SJSU students or our Open University students who are here with us today, registration will open on April 19. And then the next intersession that we offer is our winter session. And so winter session has already passed for this year. The next available winter session will be on winter 2024, which will be in the first 3 weeks of January 2024. And during our winter session, it is only, again, about 3 weeks, and you can take up to 4 units. Typically, I see students take 1 course during winter, which is roughly about 3 units, but you can take any combination of classes to get to that 4 units. So there are some students who take a 3-unit course and maybe a 1-unit course on top of that. And so as long as you don't go over the 4-unit max, you can divvy up your class anyway. During the winter session, a great thing about this intersession is that there are no campus fees because the intersession is so short. And so that is approximately about $700 in savings from campus fees alone when you take a winter session course. During the winter session, we do offer about 200 classes, so it is the smaller intersession out of the 2. Some general other information about intersession is that one of the questions I get asked most from students is the modality of the courses. And so for our upcoming summer session, the modality of the courses can vary. It really depends on the faculty and which modality they would prefer. And so for this upcoming summer, I believe there are a good number that are online. There are some that are also in person. During the winter session, I want to say about 90% of those classes are really online. Winter session does fall during the winter break, and so majority of courses typically have always been online. But during the summer, there may be more in-person courses, especially now that we are fully back online, fully back in person as a campus. And so if you are interested in taking a summer session course this summer, in the chat, we will put the link to the summer session website and specifically to the summer 2023 class schedule as well. From there, you can begin browsing for courses and you can start planning for your summer. You can begin just talking with your advisors to see what kind of courses might be best depending on the major that you have. And so you can start having that discussion and preparing early. I believe your appointment dates for SJSU students, you should see them on April 10, which is the Monday before registration opens. And so definitely recommend you to start planning early. A lot of the more popular classes or in-demand courses, they do fill up pretty quickly. And so I recommend you registering to secure your spot as soon as you're able to. The other kinds of questions that I get asked from students is the types of courses and whether a course will return. So I would say that about majority of the courses that you see on the class schedule usually returns every single year. There are a handful that are very specific to, let's say, maybe just last summer or this past winter, but majority of the courses, they do roll over every year. And so if you're interested in, let's say, a course that was taught during this past winter and you want to see if it would be available or offered during winter 2024, the best way to get that information would be checking in with either the department that runs that course, or you can email us later in the year when we are working on the class schedule. For this upcoming summer, since the course is already up, you can start viewing to see if that course is offered. I do want to make a note that classes are continuously being added from when registration opens to, I want to say, about mid-May. So if you don't see a course that is being offered that you're interested in seeing, you can either, again, reach out to the department to see if they plan on offering that course during the summer, or you can check back in on the class schedule in a couple weeks, give it a couple weeks or so after registration opens to see. But I would recommend reaching out to the department. That way you don't have to wait a couple weeks. Another quick note that I do want to say is, again, intersession is not mandatory. So there are students who attend SJSU who never really have to take an intersession course, and that's completely okay. And then there are some students who see that they only need to take one intersession course. And so intersession is really here as a resource on campus for you. If you want to take a class to either catch up or get ahead, it is a resource here for you, but it is not mandatory in any way. I want to say that a lot of the students that we see that do participate in intersession, whether that be in summer or winter, are usually more those who are in their third years or fourth years, or those who are almost near graduation. But again, we do see a mix of all types of students that come in. And so really some of the top 5 benefits that we see from students that they have shared with us about participating in intersession. The first one really being is that you're earning units a lot quicker during intersession compared to the fall and spring. And so you're taking a 16-week class and condensing that down into either a 3, 5, or 10-week format. And so you're earning those units in weeks rather than months. This does help, intersession does help students graduate faster. Again, if you're in, let's say, if you are a senior and you really only need that 1 or 2 class to meet your graduation requirements, this can be a great opportunity for that. The third reason, you are again saving money on campus, on reduced campus fees. During the summer session, campus fees are prorated, and so you're not paying the full amount that you would normally pay during the fall and spring. And then during the winter session, there's no campus fees at all, and so that's $700 that you are saving from taking a winter session course. The fourth benefit that students have shared with us is that they're able to complete prerequisites. And what this means is that, let's say, during the fall semester or this spring semester, you weren't able to take a course that you need to complete as a prerequisite to get into a class, let's say, that's offered in the fall. If it's offered during the summer, students have taken that class, enrolled in it, completed that prerequisite, and was able to enroll in the course that they need in the fall. And so again, this is a great opportunity for you if you find that you're in this similar situation. And then the last benefit, this benefit is more for our SJSU students. You do get advanced registration. And so what this means is that you get about 2 weeks of registration before we open it to the public or to Open University students. And so during that week, I highly recommend you to enroll in your courses, as once we open it up to the public, anyone will be able to register. And this means it would be students from other colleges and universities, or just anyone in the public who's interested in taking an SJSU course.
Good question.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
So I've been admitted, but I haven't like, I failed to like see the chance to enroll because of a bunch of circumstances, like last session, like, you know, back in the spring semester.
So just to make sure I understand correctly, so you've been admitted this past spring to SJSU. Have you taken classes this semester?
No, like, like, is the date when I can like register like in April 13th, or like it says on the website, or no?
Yeah, so we have registration steps already on our website that you can follow. If you are a current SJC student, meaning that you've been admitted and you are either taking classes this summer, there are steps for you there. If you are admitted and you're not sure whether you are a fully matriculated student, if you can send us an email, and that way we can also check just to make sure. We'll put the email, our email address, or our contact information is here. You can email us, and that way we can help check for you as well. If you are not a matriculated student, you will follow instructions for as an Open University student. And what that means is that as a non-SJSU student, there is a different registration process that you will have to follow. And so there are a couple steps that you will need to do to get your account set up and ready before you can actually begin registration. And so I would recommend that if you are a non-SJC student or an Open University student who is here with us today, and this is your first time registering for a summer session course, please reach out to us by email, and that way we can walk you through the process, as we understand that it may be a little bit confusing if this is your first time. And so I recommend you reaching out to us by email, and so that way we can do a more one-on-one approach to help you get set up and all ready for registration on the 19th. And so this is our contact information. You can reach out to us by phone or email. We do have chat hours as well that will be coming up starting on April 10 on Mondays and Wednesdays. And all of that information can be found on our website that has been shared in the chat. And so we'll go ahead and go into the Q&A, and that way I can start answering questions that everyone has. If you feel comfortable in unmuting yourself to ask your question, please feel free to do so by raising your hand, and I will call on you. Otherwise, I will check the chat to see what questions we have gathered so far. All right, so I see a question in chat that says, what is the unit cap on summer session? So the unit cap, the max number of units you can take during the summer session is 12 units. As 12 units, it doesn't really matter which session those 12 units are in. I would advise not taking 12 units in one of the 5-week sessions, as that may be very, it may be a lot. And so I would recommend that if you are interested in taking the 12 unit max or taking the 12 units during the summer, I recommend you talking with your advisor so that way you can, kind of split up the class in the sessions so that way it's not too much. I see another question. Is it possible to take more than 4 units during the winter session? Yes. If you want to take more units during the winter or summer session, there is a petition that you can complete in order to do so. And that petition for excess units can also be found on our website if you go to our forms. And I will show you how to navigate to that website in a second. All right, I see another question. Although winter session max unit is 4, are there ever situations where students take 2 courses, like 6 units? Yes. So again, because we do have that excess unit petition form, there have been students, who have petitioned and have been approved to take more than the units that have been said. But again, I really recommend you talking with your advisor to make sure that if this is something that you plan on doing, that it is something that will be doable for you. The petition does require signatures from multiple folks as well on campus in order for that petition to be approved. And so I recommend you looking through the form to make sure you know what to complete and who to speak to and whatnot. I see a hand from Samantha. Go ahead, Samantha.
Hi. In my situation, I graduated from SJSU already, but I need to take one specific class that's offered during the summer only.
Okay.
And so right now I still have access to my SJSU actually, and I can view courses. So I'm just wondering, is my registration process the same as an open university student? And I just have to wait till I can register? And if that is, then like when do I expect to be able to register for classes?
That is a great question. Follow-up question quickly before I answer. When did you graduate? What semester?
Spring 2021.
Spring 2021. Okay, perfect. So to answer your question, yes, you will register as an open university student. As an open university student, there are several categories of types of OU student. And so if you already have access to Non-SJSU and you already have your account set up, your registration steps is a little bit easier. And what I mean by that is that you already have access to Non-SJSU. What you will need to do now is really just to activate your account for the term. So since you've graduated back in spring 21, your account has been deactivated. And so in order for you to have access to register for the summer, your account just needs to be reactivated for the term. And so there are steps that you can take in order to prepare for when registration opens for OU students. And so you can either email us and we can walk you through that process to get you, again, all squared up and ready to go, or you can look at our website. There are steps on there for you as well.
Okay.
So hopefully that helps.
When is registration for open university students typically?
Can you repeat that question one more time? Sorry.
Oh, when do open university students typically get to register? Like, what's the date, or do we know yet? Not know.
So for summer we do. It opens on April 19, and I'll actually pull up the website in a second to show everyone. Typically during intersession, which is the summer and winter, registration for Open University students will begin 2 weeks after the registration opens for SJSU students. And then during the fall and spring semester, it starts on the first day of school or the first day of class. And so it does differ depending on the semester that you are trying to enroll in. But for summer session, it's 2 weeks after. And so let me take the time to actually show everyone how our website looks like and how to navigate. And so in the chat, I will we'll put in the link that has been on our presentation, which is the learn.sjsu.edu. So if you want to follow along with me, feel free to do so on your end. And so let me show everyone how our website looks like. Learn.sjsu.edu. the link does not want to work. Okay, so let's actually do this. Sarah, can you please put in the summer session website inside the chat, please? Looks like our link is not working. Let me zoom in really quick so everyone can see. All right, so this is our summer session website. And so to find registration, you can click on the registration navigation tab, and you'll see that we have steps separated for SJSU students and for non-SJSU or Open University student. And so again, depending on the type of Open University student you are, there are different steps that you can take. We also have a video tutorial for our Open University students to follow in case you want a more detailed step of instructions. And so I highly recommend to check out the tutorial if you are an Open University student. And so to navigate to the class schedule, you can click on class schedule. And then from here, there is going to be a link that you can click on. You can also search for classes on your inside My SJSU if you would like to do that. And for those who don't quite have access to My SJSU yet, you can click on this link right here, and it'll take you to the summer class schedule on the Academic Affairs website. And from here, if you click on the blue button, it will load all the classes that is available for you. And you'll see here, oh, excuse me, there are all the information that you need to know about the class on here. So when you click on a class, it will also give you a description of that course. And so this is how you navigate to the class schedule for summer. And to find out important dates, you can click on the calendar. And then from here is where you'll see the breakdown and separation for dates for SJSU students and then for non-SJSU students. And so as you can see, registration for our SJSU students will be on the 12th, which is a Wednesday. And then 2 weeks after that will be for our Open University student on the 19th. If this is your first time enrolling in a summer session course, or just in general, a SJSU course as an Open University student, meaning that you've never attended SJSU before, there is a Quick Admit link, which will help you get your account set up. And again, all of those registration steps is included in our registration tab. All right, so let's go ahead and jump back into the Q&A.
Kua, there's a number of questions around, can I take 1 credit? Can I take, what's the max number of credits for both summer and winter? If you can address that.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. You can take, if there is a 1-unit class, and that's really the only class that you need, you can absolutely take just that one class. There's not a minimum number of units that you need to take in order to participate in summer session or winter session. And so it's really up to you. And so if the class is really just a 1-unit course and you enroll in it, that's completely okay. And again, the unit limits for summer is 12 units. Unit limit for winter is 4. If you want to take more units than the 12 for summer and the 4 for winter, you'll have to complete a excess unit petition form. And so let me show you all how to get to that. So if we're on the summer website, you will come down here to academic info. You'll click on forms. Apologies on the slow internet. All right, and then you'll see the petition right here, petition for excess unit. And so this is the form that you will need to complete. And you'll see that it has multiple folks who need to approve in order for you to be approved to take more units than what is already set for summer and winter. And so hopefully that answered the questions. I see a hand from John. Go ahead, John.
Yes, my account, my SJSU account is not active now because I graduated a few years ago.
Okay.
And now I saw that you mentioned about quick admit. Does it mean that quick admit allow me to activate my account again?
That's a great question, John. And the answer to that is no. Quick admit is only to create an account for Non-SJSU. So since you already have a Non-SJSU account, you do not need to use the quick admit link. You will, once you activate your account for the term, you will be able to you'll be able to just log into Non-SJSU to be able to activate your term. Now, if you don't remember your Non-SJSU login, there you can reach out to our IT help desk. They can help you get you access to your account back.
I contacted the IT as well as other department, and they said that my account cannot be reactivated because I graduated in a few years ago, and it's a very long time. They cannot reactivate it, so that's why I got stuck in this.
I see. That's very interesting. I'm not sure why as well. John, can you send us an email, and that way we can look into that more for you. Sometimes it may just be misunderstandings, and so please send us an email, and that way we'll work with you one-on-one.
Yes, and I have one more question. Like, I think that as an open university student, I have to fill out the registration form, right?
So yes and no. If you find that it's really hard for you to get into your Non-SJSU account, you can absolutely turn in a registration form. Yes. So it's not necessary, but if you find that you're having trouble, you can always turn in a registration form and for your courses. Do note that if you complete a registration form, it does take the registrar office about 2 weeks to complete registration. And so what I would recommend is that if you do have access to your Non-SJSU, I would recommend you logging into your Non-SJSU to do registration, so that way you know for certain whether you are whether you're able to get into that course or not. Because again, it does take the registrar office a few weeks to complete to process that registration form.
So the contact information is
Yes,
okay.
let me go to that slide. This is our email. So it's cpge@sjsu.edu.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
No problem. I see another hand. I apologize if I don't pronounce it correctly. Is it Sin?
Yeah, it's Xingyi. I have a couple questions. Is that the first one is how many online courses can we take in each sessions?
There's not really a limit of the kind of classes that you take. The modality can be really any type. As long as you're staying within the 12 units, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, so I can like take 2 online courses in one session, but not like over 12 units.
Correct. That is correct. Yes.
And like, did you know what time correctly that we are able to enroll in April 12th?
If you are an SJSU student, you should see your appointment dates. I want to say starting on April 10. And so if you log in that day, you should see when your appointment date is on the 12th.
So at April 10, we're able to add our courses into our cart and then process and on 12.
No, let me rephrase that. On April 10, you will see when your appointment date is to register on the 12th. So let's say on the 12th, your registration is at 9 a.m. That information will show on in your Non-SJSU portal when you log in on the 10th. So you won't be able to register for classes on the 10th. It's going to show you the time that you can register on the 12th. Does that make sense?
Yes, so everyone has different time.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I see a hand from, is it Hussein?
Yeah. I was curious to know when the quick admit would be available.
That is a great question. Typically it opens one day before registration starts. But we've in the past, we've had gotten the registrar office to open it on the Monday, which will be the 17th. And so I would say check our website on the 17th to see if the link will be on there. If it's not 2 days before, for sure, 1 day before registration opens.
Okay, and then since I'm coming from a different university, would I need to bring my records as well, just so I can have it would show that I had completed the prerequisites?
That is a great question. Only if the class you're enrolling in requires prerequisites, yes, you will need to show proof that you meet those requirements. If there is no prerequisite to get into that course, you don't need to. And so in order to show that you meet the prerequisites, what I would recommend is to, if once you see or know the class that you want to enroll in, reach out to the faculty member to let them know that you are an Open University student who is interested in taking their course during the summer session, and that you are coming from another college and you do meet the class prerequisites. And so that way you can have that discussion with the faculty and they can confirm whether you meet the prerequisites or not. And then if you need a permission number, which may be likely for courses that have prerequisites, they can give you that. So that way you have that handy either on the first day of when registration opens. And so, yeah, they will be able to work with you on that. And so that will be what I recommend.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem.
Well,
Alright.
for a question about if someone doesn't see the class that they're looking to get into, we are adding classes still up till what date?
I want to say mid-May. And so I would recommend reaching out to the department that hosts that class and ask them if they are planning to offer that course during the summer. The departments will know best the courses that they are offering. So let's say that by the time May comes around and or let's say you reach out to the department and they say that they do not plan to offer the course that you had asked them about. The best way for us to bring in more courses during intersession is by knowing what the student demand is. We really offer courses that are in student demand. So if the department knows that there is a demand for a course, they will be more willing to offer that course during intersession. And so if the case the department comes back and says they don't plan to offer that course, I would recommend you letting them know, like, I need this course and I know several other students are also in need of this course. Please think about offering this course, in the next intersession or whatnot. And so that would be what I would recommend if you don't see a course being offered for this upcoming summer. All right, Sarah, are there other questions in the chat that we may have missed that we did not cover that needs to be addressed?
There was a question about transferring in summer credits from another university to SJSU.
Whoever asked that question, if you are okay, can you unmute and elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by transferring of units to take a summer course? Or type it into the chat so that way we know.
The question was from Emily. Is it possible to transfer community college summer class credits while currently enrolled as a university student?
I'm not sure. As a SJSU student, is that what you mean by a university student, or are we talking about an Open University student? I guess that was the part that I needed clarification on. In order to take a summer course, if you're coming from another college and you're not an SJSU student, there is not a need to transfer credits over to SJSU in order to take a course. Since you are going to be considered an Open University student, as I explained to Hussein earlier, you would work with the professor individually to show them that you meet the prerequisites that they have for their class, and you can show them your unofficial transcript, so then that way they see that you've met that requirement. So you don't need to officially transfer any credits over to prove or show that you met the requirements. As an Open University student, that that's not necessary. Now, if you're a current SJSU student and you have credit from another community college that is a prerequisite to a course that you're trying to take during the summer session, and you want to see if that can be transferred over in time for you to register, I would recommend you contacting with your advisor, as I'm not sure how long the processing can take for such kind of transferring of units and transcript and whatnot. And so I would recommend touching base with your advisor. So hopefully that answered your question, Emily. I see a hand from Queenie.
Hi, yeah, so I had a question in regards to the summer session Pell Grant. So does that grant take money from your fall semester Pell Grant as a SJSU student, or how exactly does that grant work?
A great question, Queenie. And the question is, no, it does not take away from any of the financial aid that you receive during your fall and spring semester. So it is different. And so let me actually navigate to where you can find the information about financial aid. So here's our website again. So if you go to our FAQs, there will be a section that talks about financial aid. And you'll see that right here. And if you click on the link to go to the financial aid summer session website, this website is on the financial aid website end. You'll see that they have information regarding the Pell Grant requirements and the timeline as well. And so everything that you need to know will be on here. And if you have specific questions about the Pell Grant, I would recommend reaching out to financial aid or talking with your financial aid advisor. But my understanding is that it does not take away from your fall and spring. And so a quick note about financial aid as well. If you, let's say, don't qualify for the summer Pell Grant for whatever reason, I have heard students say before that they have been able to set aside some of the funds that they receive from their fall or spring semester in order to use for summer and winter. So you can also do that, and you can talk with about that with your financial aid advisor as well. So students have done that before, in case that's something that folks may be interested in. And so hopefully did that answer your question, Queenie?
Okay, yeah, thank you. And then just one more question. Is there also a grant for the winter session, or is it only for the summer?
Another great question. Unfortunately for winter, because the session is so short, unfortunately, it doesn't meet the requirements in order to receive, in order for it to have a Pell Grant. And so there is no financial aid or financial assistance offered during winter, which is something that I would highly recommend students, especially during the fall semester, if you are interested in setting aside those fall funds that you receive to cover for any winter courses that you think you may be interested in doing, definitely talk with your financial aid advisor, and that way they can help you with that.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
There's a question from Jordan. What is the community college process if I want to take a summer course? Jordan, did you mean another community, like a community college that you want to transfer in things from? Okay, so it's a transfer question again.
Okay.
I think you mentioned that about prerequisites and yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how long the processing would take to get a transcript from the community college that you took courses from in order for it to show onto your account. I would say that if you reach out to the department that handles all the transferring and whatnot, and if they say it's going to take much longer than the April 12 deadline, or not deadline, I apologize, the registration date for SJC students, I recommend just reaching out to the faculty to let them know. And you can even show them your unofficial transcript and say, hey, I have a transcript that is in the process of being transferred over from this community college. It's already in process, but it may not be processed in time to show on my student account that I meet the prerequisite. Is there any way that you can give me a permission number that I can use on the first day of registration in order to get into this class? And so start that conversation with your instructor and show them that you are in process of getting those those units transfer over to meet that requirement. And so for any SJSU students who is in the same bucket, that would be what I recommend. And so very similar to OU students, if there is a prerequisite that you need and you have that prerequisite that you meet from another college or community college, just talk with your faculty member. They can give you a permission number to use in order to get enrolled into that course. And so hopefully that helps. All right, any other questions from folks? Let me go back to our presentation slide.
I don't see any more in the chat. Go.
Okay. If there are no more questions for folks, we can end the presentation here. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes in case folks want to do a one-on-one question, ask questions one-on-one with me. I will stay on for a couple more minutes. Otherwise, feel free to log off. Thank you so much again for joining us. We'll share the recording of the information session today after today. And so thank you everyone for joining. I see a hand from, is it Ye Jun?
Yep. So I was gonna ask, firstly, like, is it possible to raise the limit for the number of credits you're allowed to take during the winter session? And second, I also saw that there were other, upcoming events scheduled, of course, for the 12th of April and for the 4th of May. Like, just wanted to ask, like, is it necessary to attend those, or?
Great question. So I'll start with the first one, which is, can we raise the number of units, the max unit for winter? And the answer to that is unfortunately no. So these units are set by the chancellor's office. And so unfortunately, we won't be able to raise that. And so if you want to take more, unfortunately, you would have to submit a petition in order to get approved for that. Now, for your second question regarding the events that are upcoming later in this semester, you do not need to attend those events if you do not want to. It's not mandatory as well. This is really just us being on campus and just letting students know that registration is open. And so it's just an opportunity for folks to interact with us in case they want to ask questions and whatnot. And so it's definitely not mandatory. We would love to have everyone join, but not mandatory. Mm-hmm. Any other questions from the students who are still with us here? Since we have a smaller group now, feel free to just unmute yourself and ask if you do have a question. Go ahead, Crystal.
Okay, so I'm a student in Taiwan, and I want to ask, do I need any student visa for applying summer sessions?
That is a great question. International students can take classes during the summer, but there may be requirements and whatnot, and I unfortunately am not sure. What I would recommend is reaching out to our International Student Services Department just to make sure that you will be okay and cleared and with that. And so I recommend you reaching out to us, and then we can get you connected with them.
Okay, so I'll send email to you and you will refer me to the international department?
Correct. Okay.
So,
yeah.
Okay, good.
Any other questions from the students here today? All right. if there are no other questions, we will go ahead and officially end. Let me stop sharing. We'll go ahead and officially end the presentation here. If you have any questions after the presentation today, feel free to again reach out to us by email and we can work with you directly one-on-one on whatever the situation that you may be in. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.